Tuvalu, and welcome back to Doctor Who Series 3. Think it's that one around. Episode 1, Smith and Jones, where today, once again, I am joined by my brother Caden.
Oh.
And those chips I very hurriedly ate. Where we missed last week. We did. There's actually been a lot of Doctor Who news, including the thing I wrote down. What did I tell you? You had to remind me about. Doctor Who next stream that the episode release time was announced for Doctor Who. It will go out, assuming I'm right. It says, if I recall correctly in the note, at globally 11:10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That'd be 2:10 EST and 7:10 UK time, I think. Whatever that is. Whatever those times are. So it's like midday America, evening Europe. It's a global release. That'll be good. We will be covering it. Probably not noon Christmas Day, but we will. I don't think we've decided. We need to talk about that still.
Yeah,
I've got the thumbnail. Oh, Caden. You, Caden, can see. There we go.
Oh.
Hey,
that is festive.
Yeah. It's a festive thumbnail. It's a custom. I think the first custom thumbnail for an episode, an individual episode. We did. Yeah. But that's the art. I don't have the thumbnail done. You don't get to see that yet, audience. Yeah, you're on a roller coaster of emotion here. Also, they've announced the next animated missing episode will be The Savages, which is apparently a much more progressive title than it sounds. First Doctor with Steven and someone. Dodo? I actually don't know. I don't know. I've never seen it. But apparently it is a pretty good but underrated because it's missing. So that should be fun. 2D animation. Also, we've had the tease that the next season will be early next year. It will be sooner than you think, which is probably a lie because I think it's March, and there's not a lot sooner than March. But, I think we're looking at March is what it's sounding like. It's been confirmed there is a Doctor Who episode in May, whether it could be like the last one, or it could be the first one. But that's actually been confirmed for a while. There's a May Doctor Who, so it'll be earlier next year at some point. And we will get a trailer that I'm sure I will not be watching after the Christmas special. I don't know if it's directly after, but I think that's all the Doctor Who news.
But that was a lot of news. That's the most we've had.
That happens when you miss 2 weeks. Yeah,
I suppose.
We're not far, aren't we? Like 2 weeks from the Christmas special. Yeah, like 2 weeks is the Christmas special. It's actually a week and a half, but if you don't know what we're doing today, and just this is where you get your Doctor Who news, do you think there's someone they just like tune into this stream every week just for the beginning to see if there's news, and if there's not, they leave? Yeah,
they keep their ear to the floor. Yeah.
What we're doing is we're basically recording an audio commentary track live. So, and also I forgot my note. If you're here from Doomsday, from the last episode with Rose and 10, you may have skipped the Christmas special, the Runaway Bride. There's Christmas specials between every season, in the middle of some later seasons. This is my customary Amazon lists it dumb warning that you might have skipped an episode. Come here, Comet. My dog wants up, but he's not going to jump up. As I said earlier, we're basically recording an audio commentary track live. So, for legal reasons, of course, I cannot just stream an episode of Doctor Who. So, as you see, we've got the time bar. I'll play a blurred version of the episode in the background, but it is bring your own video. For Doctor Who specifically, this is a bit unfortunate because there are, broadly speaking, 2 versions of every episode of modern Doctor Who. There is what we will call the original US version and the original UK version. Don't worry, that what we're going to call is going to get explained at the end of the season, but the speech would just be so long if I did it every episode. If you're watching live, it is going to be the original US version, which is about 4% slower than the UK, but otherwise identical. I know that's the one we're watching is identical to the UK, but about 4% slower. In the description, it will tell you which one you're watching, or there might be a link to the other one. God, someday, one day, I'll get hospitalized and have nothing better to do than re-edit live stream recordings. It's just tedious, but yeah, that's what we're doing. We're gonna ramble a little bit and then we will play the episode. But as always, I gotta take a drink of water.
It's good to stay hydrated.
And then most people, right? When they say stay hydrated, it's like, stay hydrated. It's important. That's just a thing people say. When I say it, no, you don't know. Stay hydrated, or else. As a kid, I was very sick once. I was quite nauseous. When I'm sick, usually I can't have water. I don't know why. It's just bad on the throat. Doesn't taste good, But of course, I was vomiting and not taking in fluids for a few days. So it got to the point where I was literally so dehydrated I couldn't have water. Which can happen. No, that is a thing. That can happen.
Yeah, that's not good.
So you gotta go to the ER, and they have to give you a water IV. But one, you're so dehydrated that you literally can't have water. That's just not fun in general. If you try, you'll throw it up. But of course, you're horrifically dehydrated, and you've probably been throwing up a lot. So your stomach's totally empty. That's the real bad trying to throw up. But also, you're getting an IV, and you're super dehydrated, meaning that your veins are small, hard to hit, and much more sensitive to being punctured with a small needle. So that's not fun. It's a very I know. So no, you stay hydrated. Or you don't even know. You don't want to know.
That's actually funny. That I was in the same boat when I got diagnosed. I was completely dehydrated. And they had to fluid me. It was the worst thing ever. They let me suck on a sponge every hour, but then I had to spit it back out.
Oh,
it was torture.
Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, so stay hydrated. And that's why now when I'm sick, I still can't have water. But by God, I make sure to get something hydrated.
That's
it's the one time I don't drink water is when I'm sick, which is probably when I should. But I don't know. Wow. It's a weird thing. I just can't when I'm sick.
I drink a lot of fluids. I like my fluids.
But yeah, what I was gonna say anyway is I've got to tell you about this episode, Smith and Jones, which of course was inspired by the previous episode in much the same way that Russell T Davies was likely very distastefully inspired by the fake press statement the BBC put out about Christopher Eccleston leaving, that he got tired on set. And then he wrote the thing where the 10th Doctor's like, don't you think she looks tired, Coincidence? I think not. But last episode, of course, they had Catherine Tate flee the set of Doctor Who, not wanting to record it, get in the way of first Black companion, Martha Jones, screw you, Mickey. And, she's now in hiding. She's in hiding from the BBC and the law. But they had to go through a lot of legal proceedings, to try and get that to be like, can Donna do this? Catherine Tate, yada, yada. And basically this episode is inspired by those legal proceedings. So of course, the Doctor and new companion, Martha Jones, have to set up a fake law firm. It's a real law firm, Smith and Jones. That they have to go through all the paperwork. It's legit. But this is the only way they have to investigate what the Daleks are doing on, the Auton home planet. Because it's a bit weird. They've got a plastic factory, because it's the Auton world. And they're making plastic Daleks, and it looks above board, but they're the Daleks, and there's this whole racial undertones. It's real uncomfortable. But they are Daleks, so I guess it's kind of justified. And yeah, it's just a law investigation of workplace safety Autonosha episode.
I was really,
yeah.
I think I was with you on that one.
Yeah. I was playing Core Keeper before the stream, and I sat down to hastily put it together, and was like, shoot, I didn't refine the Smith and Jones joke.
It was a little,
Look, they can't all be winners. It's Smith and Jones. What do you want me to do? It's just a law firm name.
Yeah, I guess. I got the law firm part. It just kind of felt like it moved around.
You know what I've just remembered? Oh yeah, everything after the Daleks came in was just improv. But Daleks in Manhattan is in this season, and what am I gonna do? Oh wait, no, I already had something set up for that. I remembered what I'm gonna do.
Write these down.
It's a good one. But no, I've got it. I've got like 13th Doctor summaries in my head. I just trust when we get to the episode, we'll come back to them. Yeah.
Cross your fingers.
Shall we? No, we won't get started. You're going to entertain the audience while I fill up my water bottle. It was full before we started, but it's now empty.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
I'm going to entertain the audience.
Cool. I've got to hide this time bar. That's the.
Audience. We can give a very big and special shout out to the one viewer that recognized the ever elusive N squared out in the wild the other day. We know you're out there. That's a big moment in history for the Doctor Who streams. Making our way out into the world, making an impact, making a difference, making change in the society and the world that we live in. That's what you come to the Doctor Who streams for, honestly. You want to know how we feel about the world and how we're going to make an impact and make it a better, brighter place because of Doctor Who.
I was a little worried when I sat down, and it's like, that's what you want to know, how we think of the world. I'm like, oh, God. Caden, we're like 3 weeks out from a change of president. Like, we can't be talking about world affairs.
I just think the Doctor Who streams do a lot for the world.
No. And did you know that there was a study a little while ago when Chris Chibnall canceled Christmas that on average, the years that had a Doctor Who Christmas special had like 2 fewer per capita suicides in the UK than those that didn't. So clearly, as we all know, correlation doesn't equal causation, except this one time. Doctor Who just makes the world better. This is true.
Yeah, I think we really help that. We really spearhead that along.
2 is a very statistically significant number, it really is, and I think Doctor Who saves lives, and Chris Chibnall literally murdered people when he canceled Christmas.
Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, no, he did. It's science now. It's science. People, I feel like the actual Chibnall streams are going to be much more like kind of respect. Like, I see what you're going for, but the execution was bad. But we're really sounds. If this is your first stream, they're like, man, they're talking about Chibnall killing people since season 3.
They'll get accustomed.
Yeah, well, his first episode's coming up. I think we should get started so we can play more Core Keeper. Gage is waiting.
Beauty. You should be watching.
As I probably didn't say before, but should have, we are going to do a countdown. We are going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. On go, we're going to hit play, and I'm first going to fix the audio mode so that the music doesn't outweigh the dialogue. Change it from headphone to stereo. All right. Caden, you can see, right? We haven't tested if you can hear, so you're going to let me know.
I can see the time bar. That's got to be a win.
Could you hear the TARDIS ambience noise?
Yeah.
That's okay, you can hear. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Doctor Who theme. Oh, this one didn't have a cold open.
I was just about, to the first
Russell T. Davies ruining Doctor Who. I don't think it's the first. I think some of the season 1 ones didn't.
Was it the first episode of the season? Does that make a difference?
I don't think it always does. I think Partners in Crime has a cold open.
Interesting.
Technically, I don't think the last one did, but it repeated like the end of the last episode.
Show's really fallen off.
But, well, it's worth mentioning because Chris Chibnall got rid of the cold open for his first season, and then everyone hated it, rightfully so, and then he had it for like half of the rest of his tenure. I mean, I get there's not really... No, I take it back. There's an amazing point for a cold open coming up. I don't know why it's not there. I think I've mentioned before, Freeman Angela, I think her name was just in the credits. She's going to be in the new spin-off, The War Between the Land and the Sea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, it's very Russell T. Davies, too, to open up with, like, a look at the companion's entire family life. Big change from...
them at me.
It's a nice change from Rose, though, to mix things up, that, like, you know, Rose had a mother. Martha has, like, 2 families. and I like how Martha... You see her bouncing between everyone, and she's always just kind of being reasonable, and, like, she just told her mom, took her dad's side, her dad called, took her mom's sides.
A good kid.
Good kid. Well, she's gotta be. She's the new companion. She's gotta be capable.
Yeah.
I love the grin on his face as he walks away.
Unusual.
No, he just does that. I like to think that after this episode, there's like someone in the UK who went around and just did that. You know? You could probably find wherever this hospital is. I don't know, why do you think he did it? I feel like I guessed
hope to find
correctly.
out.
Well, yes. Could you imagine if he didn't? Like... That's just a thing that happened.
He obviously,
yeah.
She doesn't know how to tie a tie, and so
no, he took it off.
To tell her.
She doesn't know how to take it off.
You take a tie off the same way you tie it, but backwards.
Well,
I don't know if you knew that.
It's exactly the opposite.
Yeah, he let her know. So later in the episode, she's gonna need to know how to tie a tie, obviously.
Wow. I do like this scene, because I imagine it's how being a student doctor is. Like, I want to know, medical students, is this how it is? Like, first year of med school, suddenly everything's like cancer and early onset diabetes and like... You stepped your toe, I'm now going to grow a head.
There was a study where, like, the rarer a disease you have, like, if you go to a hospital, or if you want, like, if I want someone to make me a bench and a woodworker, do I want a guy who's been woodworking for a year?
So the rarer the disease, the newer the patient diagnosed. I think I have heard that.
Yeah, the younger the doctor is, because they've actually seen it, like, studying in medical school. But old people, they haven't seen that since medical school.
Well, we have an uncle who, oh, here's the tie thing. I feel like I guessed right, but it has been, you know, like 20 years. But no, we've got an uncle who does medical stuff, you know, keeping things vague intentionally, of course. But he's on like an emergency responding vehicle. Well, he's the medical person for a fire department, which they have. So he's in like the back of the fire department as they take him to the hospital. And they often have every now and then they have stuff like that where it's a rare thing. And they had a patient, I don't know if you even know this story, where there were like 3 guys in the back of the truck, including my uncle. And, like, they're keeping the patient stable, but they don't really know what's going on. Like, there's this weird thing. It's not really supposed to happen at the same time. And our uncle included, 2 of the guys were like, this is impossible. Like, I didn't think this could happen. They don't know what to do. And one of the third guys was like, no, I read about an article like a few years ago, like this exact thing. It's impossible, except for this like really weird thing. All you gotta do is like, I don't know, heat him up or something simple. And I'm like, no, you're nonsense. He's like, no, I'm telling you, like, I'm sure I read this. I don't remember what it's called. And they're like, no way. Like 3 years ago, you just read this, and then they got him to the hospital, and they gave him to the doctor. They're like, yep, sounds like the thing the other guy was saying. Quick, do the cure. And he's like, I told you so.
And I'm like, man, forever.
It's like, it's very casual and like, no, in the back of that fire ambulance, you know. I mean, I'm sure if the guy was dying, they probably would have done something. But, you know, they're like, he's a little stable. Well, he has to go to the hospital, but he's not, like, gonna die.
He's not dead yet.
Yeah. 7:30. Who has their birthday at, like, at 8:30 p.m.?
Yeah, I have no clue.
This bothers me a bit. Like, I get he wants some sort of, I don't know, repeated scene the moment, but I'm like, just tell her if the rain was going up. It's like, Martha, have you seen the rain? It's like, what? Ow. That is a very loud,
world-shattering earthquake.
Lots of pots and pans. This is very loud. Well, to be fair, they did. I mean, I think you'll think it's justified in a few seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
They better have gotten ripped out of Earth.
Well. They're late for the party now. So was this a strong enough earthquake? I mean, it moved the Earth a lot closer to the moon. My God. Like, those
depends on how they got there. You know, if they teleported.
But, okay. Right? Best hospital on the moon.
Okay.
Spin it.
Rebuttal.
Spin it. Okay.
Worst hospital on the moon.
I don't know. Does the NHS cover the moon hospital? Like, internationally, the UK can't claim this hospital on the moon. That's a big no-no. But, you know, it is a British hospital. See, this is the kind of questions you have to ask. I don't think that was his scream. I don't think that was his scream, but that guy on the left there had like an open mouth screen, just as the Foley had like just an amazing like. No, I think this episode does a good job of being a ridiculous premise, but it's like people genuinely act like, yeah, I'm on the moon now. What am I gonna do? You know, what would you do if your hospital was on the moon?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this would happen though. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think there's a precedent. I don't think you can critique this, you know?
Yeah, they're doing fine. Does this episode have those
rhinos.
Ugly things?
Yes, the rhinos. Oh. That's very racist, though.
Remember
you can't just call them ugly things. You remember the Jadoon platoon on the moon?
A little. Not open that window.
This is what I want for my companion introductions, though. Like, she's
Why'd
curious.
You gotta open the window?
There. That's why. She's experimenting.
Yeah, but do you want to risk it?
Well, she's got the point. It's not airtight. Like, they'd get sucked out. She's not gonna be the companion. Man, Martha does have a very strong opening that I forget about.
What is the amount of time in between this and the Runaway Bride?
Not long.
Like in the universe.
I mean, you never really get those kind of answers. You know, it's probably just how much Big Finish stories have they made with 10 on his own. That's your answer. If you want to be meta, I think in the next Christmas special, he refers to the Runaway Bride as Last Christmas. Although that, like, it was literally last Christmas, according to the Earth. So he might not be talking locally, you know? No. But the 10th Doctor is only, like, 4 or 5 years old, canonically, because he keeps telling people how old he is. So it can't be too long. You just like the idea that David Tennant's 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, that's really funny.
I like to hope I'd be like that if my hospital was on the moon.
Yeah, this is an obscene level of, like, healthy coping.
I'd be in the middle. I'd be like, I'm on the moon, but I'd also be like, I'm on the moon.
I mean, this is the most optimistic. Yeah, I feel like there'd be a little bit of...
Maybe Martha doesn't realize how long it would take to get something to the moon. This is like, what, 2007? I don't even know if we could get to the moon, like, and back. Like, technically, we can't even do that today. We're unproven.
Yeah, but as we can see, they moved the Earth closer, so...
In fact, I don't even know if... Like, Starship's the only thing that could do it, but I don't know if they actually have life support for Starship or not. We might actually just not be able to get it. You're fired. Then he dabs and jumps off the balcony. But it's the moon, so he falls real slow.
He just floats. Backwards rain, backwards gravity.
That's how that's what stops the moon from falling onto the Earth. Backwards gravity.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Be funny if he popped the bubble.
Again, I like to think of these alternate universes that are exactly the same, except the Doctor popped the bubble and that's the end of Doctor Who.
He's killed him.
Just no follow-up, no end. I don't know how I feel about a hospital with a railing like that. I feel like it needs a safety cage, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't seen a hospital with a balcony like that before.
Yeah.
I do like these ships. They are quite big and imposing.
I was just trying to figure out my feelings on them.
I mean, they're not going to make it on, like, a top 10 list, but... They weren't, like, especially for this scene, you know? It's supposed to be, like, a big monolith.
Those were obscenely out-of-place binoculars.
Binoculars?
I liked them. That guy pulled out binoculars to look at these massive ships,
well, what if
they looked like they were from the 1800s.
What if the microscope
I hope
breaks?
they show them again.
I'm sorry, that's from the 1800s?
No, the binoculars, you should have seen them. They were old and funny looking.
I thought you meant the spaceships. I'm like, you're telling me you could see that in, like, the American Civil War, you know?
Yeah, that's how we won.
Oh, I see it. Well, I remember as a kid, you know the national anthem, right? It's got the line about the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air. And I'm like, hang on. That's like a really early war song. I don't remember which. I think that's the War of 1812.
There.
They had, but like, they had rockets in 1812 then. You know?
Huh.
They did.
Yeah, they had like cannons.
No, they had rockets in 1812. They're basically fireworks. Yeah. Basically fireworks, but... Oh, I can see your house from here. I'd be more like this guy, I think. It's like... It's cool I'm on the moon, but also kind of resigned to, like, I can't get back to the moon, but, like, you know. I want to bring it up because Chris Chibnall basically redoes this episode in a decade or two. And everything that this one does is just so much better than the Chibnall equivalent. not to be, you know, harsh about it, but I haven't seen this episode in ages, but I've seen the Chibnall episode, or at least like bits of it, definitely more. It's just this. I think Russell T Davies does ridiculous premises happening to real people very well. You know, really keeps it grounded.
Yeah.
I saw someone going against the idea that Russell T Davies is grounded. He's like, you have like hospitals on the moon and like farting aliens in fat suits. You have rhino police, you know? And it's like, it's not the scenarios that are grounded. It's the characters that ground the scenarios.
Yeah, how
you know?
It happens.
It doesn't matter how, like, ludicrous your scenario is. If you can make it happen to real people, it's ground. I bet you could make Monty Python and the Holy Grail grounded if you, like, change the character dialogue a little bit, you know? You gotta love an Alien 2 with an amazing costume that you hide for budget reasons.
I like the costume covered.
I forgot
like
abs.
this.
I don't think the new Jadoon have chiseled abs. But look at that. That's beautiful. You called that ugly?
Pretty language.
Oh, yeah.
Uglier in my head. Cooler now. Cooler. Yeah. I like it.
No, that could release today. And they basically do. They make very little changes to the Jadoon costume in like 20 years. Whoa. A sci-fi calling it English and not human or Earth? Man. It's just blowing me away. You want to know what Chibnall calls it?
What?
Earth human.
Earth human.
Yep, he watched this scene, copied it, and made it wrong. So even the people, they're panicking, but they're like, oh, you know, I'm just getting drawn on. Okay, this bothers me. Why the hell does Earth not own its own moon? Why? I get, like, it doesn't have to be our law, which says that, like, Earth collectively owns the moon, right? But, like, Earth literally has a claim on the moon. We have a treaty. International Earth law states that the moon belongs to the people of Earth. Why do they respect Earth law, but not our territorial claims? Like, how do we not own the moon? Is it just because Jadoon rhymed with moon? Is that all you wanted?
I hope in future Doctor Who episodes they fix this. They remedy this and we own the moon.
There is an episode of the Sarah Jane Adventures where they meet the Jadoon, and two of the kids are banned from leaving the planet. Because, you know, that's going to come up. But then it actually does. There's an alien invasion where, like, they steal everyone on the planet, but they don't steal the kids because by galactic law, they're banned from leaving the planet. And it's a fun little twist where you go, oh my god, that's right. There literally is something that sets them apart. Do you have any idea how old that vase was?
Old the face?
I know, that extra, I bet they auditioned for that part, and that guy, perfect casting.
They freaked out more when they were on the moon than when they saw the rhino people, and I think I would have freaked out more.
They did freak out when they saw the people, but now they're seeing, they're just marking the hands. But I actually think it would be calming to, like, have something happen. It's like, okay, there's aliens here. Like, they did it, you know? It's not a mystery anymore, you know?
Yeah. I got a smiley face back there. Behind his head.
On the board.
Yeah.
You know, I've never thought of it before, but I like that the doctor checked into the hospital like 2 days ago. Maybe he was new and Martha was the first person that looked at him, but like no one realized he's an alien.
It's just really slow. That's how it works, you know?
Well, you know, the NHS might be marvelous, you know, free healthcare for all, but no one said it was quick, you know? I do like the 10th Doctor. Idiots, idiots, idiots. Oh, that is clever.
Have we seen him in a blue suit up until this point?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I'm not sure if he's taken his...
Now that I'm thinking about it, it's like
usually when he has the blue suit, he wears the coat. He might just not have taken the coat off before.
Yeah, that is true. Oh, okay.
No, because the thumbnail for last season was just the blue suit, so he's definitely wore it with Rose. Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever had a better companion audition. Went to the moon, thought about how amazing it was, realized something the Doctor didn't, instantly found the alien threat.
Yeah, that's a ace the test.
I think I get the people who love Martha despite her being like a wet blanket standing behind the shadow of a woman named Rose. She's got potential. I might have to buy her solo series on Big Finish after this. You know what I'm noticing that's weirding me out a bit? There's a lot of just oxygen tanks in the hallway of this hospital. Maybe there's a reason, but it just seems weird to me.
Maybe. Okay, maybe they went to the moon, and a lot of the people were like, this is scary.
They, like, organized this instantly with everything going on.
Yeah.
You know, I was about to make a joke about the reveal that's going to come up, and I've remembered that David Tennant makes the exact same joke. Hang on, I'll point it out. And everyone in the next 5 rooms. A reminder that people say David Tennant is too human of a doctor. I want you to keep that in mind. The human doctor, everyone. It's a good episode. You know how people were upset that Space Babies was the premiere of the last season? It's because you get stuff like this, usually.
That's funny.
Here we go. And that's the joke I was working on, but I'm like, hang on a minute, doesn't David Tennant make that joke? Oh. He's got to throw his Sonic away. This is a brilliant scene.
It's like that.
But yeah, he's got to get a totally new sonic screwdriver that isn't the one he had before the Time War in any sense. Sorry, I don't know why I had to specify that, but, you know, you agree, right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. You're going to have to wait a good 2 years before that one comes back around. Imagine, you know what, actually, I'm okay with it. I was gonna say, imagine being on a hospital on the moon, being invaded by rhinos, and not being aware of the rhinos on the hospital. But you know what? Actually, fine. Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I've just realized something. Whoa. You know what I said about, two of the kids from Sarah Jane Adventures being banned from leaving the planet?
Mm-hmm.
This episode actually gets referenced again in an alternate timeline, where Sarah Jane is the one who fixes it, right?
Oh.
So if this happened after the episode where they're banned from leaving the planet by the Jadoon, someone did a big oopsie here, right? Someone is getting fired in an alternate timeline. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm gonna look that up. Doctor Who. I don't know the name of the episode. It almost doesn't feel like a Russell T Davies episode. Are you getting that? Really? Like it's got a very
familiar enough.
Distinct doctor and a very distinct humor that is very constant. And I just feel like Russell T Davies' other episodes aren't like that. I think this is Davies, though. It's a season opener. Smith and Jones. Let's see.
Yeah, they are using the oxygen.
Yeah, but they're only there so they can be used, you know? I don't think they'd be around normally. Main setting, London and the moon. Writer Russell T Davies, yeah. I mean, no, it is very Davies because the people are so grounded. You're gonna have to find his daughter and apologize, you know, break the news.
That's messed up. I forgot.
Well, everyone in Florida knows each other, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Well, most people in Florida are just like one man, right?
That's also true, yeah.
Martha's great. This is a really strong companion introduction. Especially because usually you get the dynamic of like a really distant, uncaring doctor and then the companion who's like looking at the individual people, which is a take I like fundamentally disagree with, and I think misunderstands the doctor and how he acts, but it is at least doing a good job establishing that dynamic. And here we have the start of the fall of Martha Jones. It was a good 28 minutes, but all that character, let's just throw it away. I'm being a little harsh. I mean, we'll see. Martha certainly has moments, but yeah. I don't believe that flashy blue light tube machine is an actual medical equipment, you know? I don't see it. How much better would the world be if everything was the same, but there were actually just rhinos that lived on the moon? Not even sentient, just as like livestock, space rhinos.
I would like that.
That would be a better world. How do they eat? What? Maybe they photosynthesize. You don't know. Yeah. I think that'd be a better world. We definitely wouldn't have hunting trips or use them for food or, you know, we'd pet the rhinos. Could you imagine going to the moon petting zoo and petting the space rhino?
It'd be a good business.
I actually wonder, would we be like 150 years more advanced in space travel if there were rhinos on the moon?
Because we have to know
now it's a resource, because like people would want to eat the rhino. But you couldn't bring the rhino to Earth because it's way too much gravity, you know? Not to mention just, do you know the shipping cost of a rhinoceros from the moon? It's literally astronomical.
Someone would want it. We'd want to see what would happen if we brought it back.
You'd want well, That'd be like they did it in the 70s, and then it went bad, and they were like, oh, yeah.
Well, that sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be increasing the gravity 6 times, you know? I love that as far as David Tennant's concerned, astrology and geography are the same subject. He's like, I did geography. That radius includes the distance to the Earth.
That's like my favorite phrase. I'm glad it came out of his mouth.
Why would there be salad in the blood banks? I don't get it. She's good casting, too, you know? I think it's a fun role. I don't know. Russell T. Davies must have had like maybe, I don't know, maybe he was tipsy, but something came out when he was writing the Doctor in this episode. Well, there's just a gap between seasons, and he thought of all the funny lines. Also a universe where Doctor Who just ends here. Martha becomes titular Doctor Who. She changes her name to Who. Martha Who. You'd be surprised, actually, what happens to the dead at this point in human history. They live in a big sphere. Don't worry about it. Yeah, no.
What?
Yeah, no. It'll be like 3 years before that one comes back around. What do you think the compensation for Martha was? You know what I'd love? If that came back. If one episode they were stranded in like an alien world, they needed money, and Martha had compensation. You know?
I missed why she's evil, but blood or
she's just hungry. Oh, actually, she might have done like I think she stole like a jewel and murdered a princess or something. It doesn't really matter. She did a big bad to like a royal family.
Bad guy.
I guess thieving from the Jadoon isn't a crime. That's the compensation. It's a voucher for one free crime. God, I hope that there was a society somewhere we find that literally had like compensation in the form of a get out of jail free card, literally, just so we can study it, you know? Oh, there you go. This is what she did. She murdered some princess. There you go. Well, wait, did someone have Sonic shoes? Did you see that? Oh my gosh, I'm not even playing the blurred version of the episode in the background. Did you see those? It's fine, the time bar was on screen. Did you see those Sonic shoes, though? When they did a floor shot?
Well, no, because for a second I thought you meant like a sonic screwdriver, but shoes. But now I'm thinking you mean like the character.
Yeah, the character, Sonic.
Yeah,
they didn't have like Sonic shoes.
I was like, what are Sonic shoes?
What's a sonic screwdriver?
Now I'm like peeking.
I would have loved if in a high voice the rhino just went like, oh shit, and they just ran out of there. Also, it is weird to me that the Jadoon don't have the authority to operate in the UK. Fair enough. But they do have the authority to steal the hospital. You know? I'm not sure they're really working under law here.
Yeah, it's a flimsy set of rules.
Look, I know they're set up to not be, like, the most ethical of police, But later, it does seem to be they work for the Shadow Proclamation, which, despite the, like, sinister name, does seem to be some sort of galactic police force.
Sounds a little evil to me. I don't know.
Well, we meet them later. And the lady who runs it looks a little evil, but, you know, we can't judge aliens by our own customs, you know?
Shadow Proclamation. I can't imagine a world where that's,
It's okay, but think about it, right? The more, like, nice and democratic a country sounds, the more of a hellhole it is, right? You know, the Russian Federation is not some happy-go-lucky federation, you know? The Democratic Republic of Chad, what is it? What's it? The Congo? Democratic Republic of Congo? Horrible human rights violation. The People's Republic of China. I don't think it's really the people's, you know?
And now that you've been, United States of America.
Which doesn't sound the most utopian, right? They're united, but it doesn't specify what, you know? And what are we as a country? Well, we got a lot of good stuff at the foundation, but there's also a lot of just the worst possible way of doing things, you know? It's like a middle ground. And we got a middle ground name, you know? I think it holds out. If it was like the States United for Good of America, then you'd have a point. But we're just, you know, maybe we're united for evil. It's left ambiguous. United Kingdom, similar boat, you know? There's some good stuff there, but, like, there's also... They did take over, like, the world. You know, that it doesn't get much worse than that.
I'm, curious as to how they plan on getting back to Earth.
Well, they're gonna walk. That's why he's carrying Martha. He's gonna go one at a time.
That makes sense.
Why is... I don't know. That's a fine place for a fire extinguisher, but if you're coming from the other way, you're not gonna see it. I don't know about you, but I find it hilarious how he carries Martha all this way, like not supporting her neck. It's for the imagery, but... Why is that ceiling tile out of place? Did you see that? It's back.
There's a big,
It's back. There's a conspiracy. Oh, don't bring moon dust to London. Do you have any idea how toxic that stuff is? You don't want to breathe that. Just look at what happened to Cave Johnson. Did you get that one, or is it just a funny
before you
name?
even said cave, I started thinking about it, but I didn't actually think you were going there.
I love this guy. Like, he kind of did, but also, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
This episode went by real quick, I feel.
It was very, like, it had good pacing.
It's a good one. Yeah, this is like the anti-Space Babies, you know? Did we both give Space Babies like a 7 out of 10? I think we did.
Something like
7 or 8. We are not the general consensus with Space Babies. He's got a future in script writing. Mr. Saxon. What a weird name. I wonder if he'll come up later.
I've heard tales of the world-famous United Kingdom saxophonist. I cannot wait to see him. It's just like Devil's Cord. They fight with a guy with a saxophone.
Sorry, what? I was listening to the conversation.
The end of the season is going to be like, I'm writing your intros for you.
If it's just
gonna be like the Devil's Cord against a guy, but he plays the saxophone, and it's like a weapon.
If it's just like the Devil's Cord, the Mr. Saxon setup won't go anywhere, and it'll never be explained. I saw the clip of Maestro talking about Ruby from the Devil's Cord sometime after we did the reviews. I'm like, oh yeah, none of that went anywhere. There's like a secret song inside Ruby. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah.
They do explain the snow. I won't put it here, Maybe after the episode I'll do it again, because people still don't seem to be noticing this. The snow does get explained, but nothing else does. Oh, no, if it was Devil's Cord, the tie thing would never come up again. Or it'd be revealed that, like, the Doctor never wears ties, you know? Maybe it was Mr. Saxon who did the tie. You don't know.
May have been.
It's the 14th Doctor the whole time. It's going to be a while before that one comes back. Is this Martha's theme? I think it is. I like it. Vote Saxon!
That's a really well-designed poster.
Straight to the point, you know? Oh my gosh, there's a free exit. Did you see that on the wall?
No.
Which is different. Brand new? Brand new?
It doesn't look very different.
Well, we made it the same, but it's brand new, you know?
Mm-mm.
Like, if your chair broke, you could buy an identical chair.
I suppose.
I like that as well. Last time, I didn't bring that up, and I realized later it was a big mistake, and I told them it traveled in time, and then they joined me, so, you know. There, he's gonna prove it travels in time. Any guesses?
I did the little tie thing.
Yeah! I feel like I guessed that as a kid, but, you know. I might be a time travel genius, remember? We're gonna figure this out with Moffat. And it also establishes the whole don't go back in time thing and change the past again. No, it does. Well, I mean, I guess they don't give a reason. They just say it's illegal, but also, the only reason he could do it is because he was told he did it in the first place, you know, so he had to do it.
Yeah. So the second she came to him that morning, it was like, I already saw you. He's like, ah, crap.
It's like, gotta remember that one. They like doing that with the 7th Doctor in the audios, is like, gotta remember to do that one. I like an episode like that where the Doctor wants to go on vacation, but then he gets involved in something where he realizes he is setting up the things for him to succeed. So at the end, he still can't go on vacation. He's got to do like a month setup, you know, or like time breaks.
That's really funny.
One of my favorite responses to the figure on the inside. Is it? Martha, don't talk about it. Oh, is that what we're calling him now? Yeah. Yeah. You did it with Donna. Move on, Russell. It's a short season, you know, but that's good because we got to wrap it up by Christmas. I'll have to remember that.
Fancy word for it. Yeah.
I'll go up to my wife and be like, can I have a genetic No, actually. You know, now that I've said it.
I like that.
No, you're right. You'd think! I'd hope so. If only. That'd be the best timeline. No! The handbrake! He just turned the handbrake off. He does remember. There's a joke later on. River says the reason the TARDIS makes the groaning noise is because he always leaves the handbrake on. BS, River.
That's kind of funny.
All right, that was a really. I think that was one of the smoothest episodes we've had, honestly.
That was good.
Yeah. Next week we have the episode that was almost about J.K. Rowling. You know, it was almost learning the lesson, don't make an episode about a living person the hard way. Instead, we learned it the easy way. What David Tennant said no. It's a thing. I mean, this should probably be saved for next week, but it's gonna be about David Tennant. Not about David Tennant. That'd be weird. About J.K. Rowling, because Harry Potter was real big. This was before, we learned J.K. Rowling. Yeah, this was pre-Twitter. And so, she really was a revered British author. I mean, she wrote Harry Potter. Oh, yeah. That was huge. I mean, it still is huge to an extent. But David Tennant said no. And I don't remember why. I mean, obviously, he could have known that she was, like, super transphobic and, a bunch of stuff. It might have just been, like, maybe we shouldn't do a living person, and it checked out. But, man, David Tennant, as always, had some great insight. I bet he's proud of that one from his tenure as, like, ooh,
machine.
Maybe. Yeah. In contrast to, I don't know why this is the Screw You Chibnall episode, but the Chibnall episode where in like 2022, they chose to have the Doctor, while bored in prison, reciting Harry Potter from memory, which, I mean, don't get me wrong. Next episode, there are a lot of Harry Potter references, and like the Doctor's a big Harry Potter fan. And like he's finished the series. The 7th book was actually, yeah, that's where it was. The 7th Harry Potter book was about to come out. And I know that because there's a line where someone mentions Harry Potter. And he's like, oh, wait till you read book 7. And it was like, everyone who was like a fan of both kind of freaked out because it was months away, I think. And they were like, oh, he gets to read it early, Would have been funny if it was like Game of Thrones, it just totally ruined everything.
It's awful.
It was the one where she came out, it was like, they were just all really racist the whole time, like explicitly. That would have... Man, that's truly the dark timeline. No, but yeah, that was because I didn't get that. I had finished Harry Potter by the time I got around to this season of Doctor Who, and of course I wasn't even watching it in 2007. So I don't know when I finished Harry Potter actually the day the last movie came out. I know that because I finished the 7th book in the theater for the midnight screening. Because it's a big book.
That's pretty hard. That's pretty cool.
Well, I hadn't quite finished, and I had like several chapters of the book left, but I really wanted to finish a book before the movie because I was a big Harry Potter fan. And so I because it was the midnight screening, I had like hours. I was like blitzing through the last like 30 pages of the book, like come on. Only so much. But I did finish it. Yeah, no.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a big achievement as a child. But yeah, so I watched Doctor Who sometime after then, presumably.
Yeah.
When was actually? Let me check. That does seem late. Not Doctor Who. Harry Potter. I try not to talk about Harry Potter.
July 15th, 2011. Are you thinking really hard, or has your mic turned off?
My mic turned off. How long was I muted?
About when you pulled up Google.
All right. Well, no, yeah. It's whatever. I don't think there's anything important. But yeah, it was 2011. You said it. For the movie. The book would have been like 2007 then. But
yeah, forever ago.
Yeah, ancient history. You were still in diapers.
Yeah, just about.
Forever ago, give or take. Brilliant. How long? That was you might want to leave now, but 17 years ago, 2011, right?
Yeah.
No, I was counting 2024.
Just believed you.
17 years ago was 2007, I think.
Well, 24 is over.
Not yet. Not Christmas. I know it's confusing. I'm 25 now, but the year's 24. I know it's confusing, but yeah. You never said happy birthday.
I texted you because I was going to wish you a special Doctor Who happy birthday, but then we didn't stream.
And I think you said, now I can't wish a happy birthday. I don't think you actually... Hang on. No, we're live. We're staying live for this. Core Keeper can wait.
It can't... I missed it. It's gone.
What, my birthday?
You're gonna have to wait till next year.
Oh man. Where even are you? There's brother, mom, group, dad, stepdad, then a bunch of random numbers. Oh, it was on Discord, wasn't it? I'm looking at my phone.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Where even? You did send me something. Yeah. Won't be able to make some time joke about wishing you a happy birthday, but landing a day off. You never said happy birthday.
Would have been funny.
No, I mean, I figured you were probably waiting, but never said.
I can only wish you a happy late birthday, but happy birthdays can't.
Well, it wasn't very happy.
Time is so fickle like that.
I had a horrible stomach ache. Yeah, it wasn't good at all. I just turned 25, and your body starts failing. Like I'm 20. I've got like a foot in the grave. I'm like a quarter done. Like
you've got 2 feet in the grave, and just a hope that you can step out of it. Really
Alex loves when I talk like this because you probably wouldn't notice from the video, but they're actually the older one, and so they're not that much older. They're basically the same age, but like. They're like, man, you can't talk about that because like, and I'm like, yeah, when I'm like 27, I'm just gonna die. But I imagine listening to that, one day I'm gonna have to listen to you be like 25 and be like, man, I'm old.
Yep.
And then I'm
like, it's gonna hurt.
I'm actually gonna die, and then my kid's gonna be like, alone. They have to care for themselves because like
20 is
I don't have a kid, but I will.
Away.
At that point.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna be out of my teens soon enough, forever.
Nah, maybe you'll come back. You don't know. Maybe. Well, I went back and forth on the drinking age like 5 times before I've settled on being able to drink. I did. Because I went to Europe at 16.
Oh, yeah.
Where I could drink. Maybe only in some of the countries, though. I don't remember. And then I went back to Europe at 18, where I could drink. And then I went to Japan. Actually, that would have been 18 as well. I didn't do 2 trips. Whatever. I went like 4 or 5 times back and forth because of various drinking ages until eventually turning 21. And I was like, dang, I'll never be able to not drink again.
Everywhere now, yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe there's somewhere, but I don't know. 25, that's a bit old for a drinking age. It's like the senior discount. That's the next thing I got to look forward to,
God. That's a little bit down the road.
I know, but like I'm basically there, Yeah.
Right, yeah, no.
Well, like I'm almost 30, and like 30 is like halfway to retirement,
25 is almost 30? I mean...
Well, are you saying it's not?
Well, if you're almost 30, you're basically almost 40 at that point.
That's like,
40's just
it's
the new
all
50,
downhill.
And by 50, you're 100.
Yeah.
So you're basically 100.
Yeah. I mean, they say, Caden, that like when you're 25, 30 is the next 60, and then it's 40, and then it's 50, then it's 55, and you know what? Once you get to 60, it's really like 65, isn't it? When you think about it, and the goalpost just keeps slowly moving, but there's a point where you have instead of moving by 10 years, it moves by 5, and you're like,
yeah, there is, yeah.
You gotta.
I'm still moving one at a time.
Yeah, the next doctor. There's a good chance is younger than me. I think Shooty's gonna be here a while. I don't know. He'd have to be another youngin. We've had a few youngins. Yeah. Jody was like just as young as Matt Smith when he got the role. She's a few months off from being the youngest doctor, if I remember correctly. But I don't know. Russell never did an old guy.
We haven't had a middle-aged guy in
we
forever.
Had 9. 9 was, like, more middle-aged, wasn't he?
Yeah, but what are we on? 15? 14? 16? One of those?
Well, Capaldi was old. Like,
yeah, but that's
a little harsh. But yeah, Capaldi was an old man.
Get middle, Let's just get some dad.
Yeah, I've said before, I think I talked on stream about just the dad doctor, right?
Yeah.
The dynamic would be, like, a single mom, their child, maybe like middle school age-ish, and then the doctor who's just got like dad energy, like bit of a dad bod, slight beer belly. He'd dress like John Nathan Turner. He'd have like the Hawaiian shirts. He'd have dog puns. The tone would have to go a little lighter. You got a middle schooler around. Like you could still tell like a Dalek story with like a middle schooler. Adric probably had one. The last middle schooler companion we had died. You know, I'm just saying, he died. We can tell it. It's just all about how the characters react. It's not that it have to be lighter. It just have to be a little less grounded, you know, like, and but I think it's the vibe, you know, it's like dad vibe, and dad vibe isn't grounded, you know, it's a little fun, you know, it's a little zany, and I think that's something new, you know, just a little bit.
It was good. Variety is spice of life.
Yeah. It's Doctor Who. We've had basically the same thing for like 20 years with only minor variations, you know. Where's the era where the Doctor doesn't have a TARDIS, is stranded on Earth, and works for the military? Like, come on.
Sounds funny.
That's the third Doctor. Somehow, it's actually one of the strongest. It's like, what if, you know, Doctor Who, what if we get rid of literally everything?
All of it.
And make it about the military? Genuinely.
And ship it. Yeah.
The TARDIS is in the corner. We're not going to go in it. We don't even have a set for it. Are you kidding me? But, like, it's there. So it's still Doctor Who. But, like, it works.
For all legal purposes?
No, but it works.
Yeah, we watched the awesome one, and that's going out.
There was news!
Oh.
Classic Who. The Classic Who YouTube channel, which I just learned existed, has started uploading full episodes of classic Doctor Who to YouTube. There's actually some good ones. Vengeance of Varos is there. Genesis of the Daleks is there. A lot of Pertwee. Spearhead from Space is there, the first Pertwee one. There's probably more. There were like a few a day they were doing. I don't know what their goal is, if there's going to be all of them or just like enough to get you interested, you know. But when I checked, the fifth one they uploaded, the last one they uploaded, was Invasion of the Dinosaurs.
Whoa.
I know.
That's big.
Yeah, you could watch, well, you can't. We're going to watch that together. But,
That's funny.
Yeah, no, it's got some good ones. Like, I genuinely would, if you have interest in Classic Who, would recommend checking those out. They're all one, so Classic Who is like multiple 22-minute episodes, but the videos, they just put them all together. I don't know if there's still like credits or whatever, so they're like 2-hour videos. Which, yeah, I mean, pros and cons, you just have to remember where you are if you don't finish it in one sitting.
Yeah.
But if the Doctor, no TARDIS, stranded on Earth, working for the military, sounded interesting to you, here's how I described the third Doctor to my wife, right? And I showed a picture of the third Doctor, and she was like, yeah. You know James Bond, right?
Yeah.
But slightly older, you know, a little older looking than the James Bond we're used to nowadays. But also a magician. Okay?
Yeah.
That's John Pertwee's third Doctor.
That's him.
Just look at that picture. Look at that picture.
Yeah, he's really expressive there.
There you go. Look at this picture. There's one. There you go. There you go. Look at him.
Looks like,
James Bond, slightly older, but a magician. Yeah. That's what he looks like.
He looks like someone.
His son, Sean Pertwee. He looks like the third Doctor, honest. How the hell, like a real wrinkly... Ian McKellen? No? Gandalf?
No. I don't think I'm thinking of a human.
Oh. Poor John.
Which I don't know what
What do you mean? He just looks like an old man. Look at here he is on a phone from the 70s.
He looks more normal there.
Well, he is, he is doing a weird pose here. He looks like James Bond, slightly older, but a magician.
I suppose. You could just say old guy.
Here's his son, Sean Pertwee. I know the audience can't see this, but it's Bilbo guy. What's his face? Who plays Bilbo in the? Is that him? You know the guy?
What I'm thinking of?
Like Watson in the BBC Sherlock and Bilbo? No, his son kind of looks like Bilbo. At least.
Yeah, I think it's the hair.
Is it just the 12th Doctor? Is that Bilbo? No. Well, I will wrap it up. People can see the time bar that's just like my task bar, I've realized. Thank you all very much for watching. And we'll see you next time, where we really have to figure out how we're doing the Christmas special, because we'll actually have to tell people
don't we?
At that point, Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Martin Freeman. I assume that's Bilbo. Thank you. I'm going to assume that one's Bilbo. All right. Next time.
Bye-bye.
There we go. All right. Well, we could just go straight into like